I'm going to set up a patch ready for my next build video, just to see that I can get things to work. Okay, first thing I need is a VCL. So I'm going to take the output from a square wave output from one of my VCOs, and that goes into the input of the new device module. We'll take CV from the key step, which hasn't got any power to it. We'll switch some power on. We'll take the gate out and put it into the gate buffer. And I'll get rid of my deck saver. And then the output from the new module will go the input of a Victron. The output from the Victron will go into, let's go into the diode ladder VCF, and then out of that, and we'll go into the buffered mixer. Then we will take one of the key step gates into our Victron. Or should we? No, we'll take it in to trigger an envelope. Out the envelope will go into the CV of the Victron. Then we can take, oops, that's a short lead, and then take another one, and we shall trigger another envelope, which we'll then use on the diode ladder filter, and do I have enough to give me an output? Right, so I need to turn some output up on there, on the mixer, and then, ooh, that's rather loud. Okay, so yeah. Don't seem to be getting a little CV out of that, do we? Let me explain what's going on here. Fundamentally, I'm being stupid. The CV is coming from the key step controller, which conforms to the 1 volt per octave standard. So the voltage interval between each of the keys, the semitones, is 1/12 of a volt for 1 volt per octave. And generally these things operate over a range of 5 octaves, so putting out a maximum of 5 volts to reach the really high notes. The oscillator that I've got the key step plugged into is one of my 4046 square wave oscillators, which as far as I know doesn't conform to any standards, and indeed operates at much higher voltage levels than the key step is putting out. So when I'm hitting keys on the key step, certainly individual keys are going to make very little difference to the pitch of the oscillator, but if I do bounce around kind of lots of keys at once, I do start to hear changes in pitch. So it's obviously I need bigger voltage changes to result in significant pitch changes on the oscillator. So there's nothing wrong with the CV, that's following its own standard. There's nothing wrong with the oscillator, that doesn't care about standards. The problem is that they are not mutually compatible in the way that they work. You can make them work, I've done that before, I do that regularly with this synth. So what you're going to see next is I will move to another square wave oscillator in Project 12, only this one again does not conform directly to the 1 volt per octave standard. However, it does operate on a range of voltages, which means it will, over a limited range, it will track the output of the key step. So although it's not exactly 1 volt per octave, it's easier to produce significant pitch changes with the output from the key step. Okay, back to patching it up. Right, okay, so we're not going to put CV out filter at the moment. Got a arpeggio running. And what I should be able to do with my new modular now, let's turn that down a little bit, there we go. So I can start add a little bit more bass. Do we want more bass? And some rumble. That is actually just rumble. Oh, there's a little bit of resonance going in there. And let's stick a little bit more top end. Oh no, that's mid. Get a bit more toppy. And mid to top. Right, let's add some proper top end. Right, we'll put the envelope on the CV back in. and a bit of high pass. Yeah, let's go back to low pass. We're taking the low notes out anyway now. Yeah, bit of a demo.